Sorry, I had to extend that one out a little bit longer. I forgot to turn the audio on for the Twitch stream. Hello, Twitch stream. How you doing? Corey Vincent here. This is the newest episode of the video game Bang, brought to you by Mainframe. Insane in the Mainframe. Use that code at mainframe.gg and get, I'm assuming, a discount. I didn't work that out in the details. David, do we get a discount?
Yes.
All
VGB10,
right.
You get 10% discount.
Only 10?
VGB10 is the discount code,
Not
not
10.
Insane in the Mainframe.
No, that's the catchphrase.
What about 100% discount?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's called the 5-finger discount.
But it's an online store.
If you
so-
could figure out a way to rob an online store, I'd be very, very impressed.
The
with you.
VGB does not condone robbing any of our sponsors.
Exactly.
Especially
Oblivion Comics and Coffee, Sacramento's #1 spot for comics and coffee. Don't rob them. If you take one thing from this episode, just don't rob Oblivion Comics and Coffee. They're great people. It's an amazing place. They've been doing open mic nights. Maybe we should go. I've been thinking about going there and working some open mic, some sets, some comedy sets.
some comedy sets.
Yeah.
Corey on
I
comedy?
would go and see that.
I mean, this whole show is just a platform where I try my stand-up bits and see what hits, what doesn't.
How's it been working?
You tell me.
Probably not working.
All right, you heard his
Sticking
voice.
move.
He's a new character to the cast of this show. He's been on a few of the party episodes.
Yeah, mostly the Christmas ones.
Christmas, yeah. Usually I'm not at my best on those ones, but you're gonna get me at my best podcast. Marcus, what's going on?
Hello, how's it going, chat? How's everybody doing?
You're gonna have to bring it down a little bit. That was an 11.
Okay.
This is like an 8 podcast. Thank you.
Nice to meet you.
That's
Oh,
a
no,
good
no, 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 no. We're not doing that. We're not doing that here.
Then we're getting ASMR.
We're not doing that here.
We have to change categories. Marcus, congratulations on your baby.
Thank you.
just had
Number
a kid.
2. It's pretty big party now.
Yeah, I know. I walked your kid yesterday.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I'm glad you're in the neighborhood to do that.
How's life? How are you adjusting to this full house?
There's a lot of other changes too. I'm adjusting well. It's
Okay.
definitely a big change, but because I had ear surgery, which you probably don't know, and then I got the
Why'd you throw that in there as a fact? I had ear surgery, which you didn't know.
Because I knew.
Like
David knew?
Who
I
says
knew.
I
that?
don't even know Marcus. And I
David.
knew.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Emma knew.
Thanks,
Corey didn't
Emma.
know.
I
And
needed
then,
that.
unfortunately, the boys got snipped.
What? Your ears?
No more kids, Corey.
Wait, so you're gonna lead with that?
Yeah, I'm gonna leave with that. You know,
Can I say
I'm
that
a boy in pain, and it hurts.
That is a better
Now-
segue than a single scene in Venom.
Now-
That's a better transition than a single
Now, if
scene.
I could tell you
Foreshadowing.
how the doctor did it with his machetes, going and hacking away, I'm just
Wow.
closing my eyes.
Can we get
and
F's in the chat and maybe a few sensu beans for Marcus's testicles?
That's the
Please.
first thing.
Please,
That's the
sensu
first thing he
beans.
said to me when I saw him. Because I saw him like later that day, and he goes, "Say, you want to see a video of a vasectomy?" And he showed me a video of some guy just going ham on a bush.
It was actually Edward Scissorhands
Oh, is that what it was?
when he's carving the bush into a dinosaur. I was like, that's what it looked like. I can't unsee that. I'm traumatized.
This is great content. We're gonna get some
traumatized.
more great content. Emmaskies back again. You're back.
I've never been so aware of the fact that I'm outnumbered in this room.
What? Outnumbered?
Well, I mean, we're all
I
human.
think it's 50-50.
Yeah.
I
Well, I
mean-
know he's on much more even footing.
Oh! Wow.
I mean, he wasn't
Damn.
castrated. I think.
That's how it works. Though.
It felt like it, so I can't.
I don't know. Maybe you
for
got like
sure.
the discount surgery.
In the back alley?
Behind KFC.
This is not improving my mood. I'm in a very bad mood today.
Yeah, we're all in a very angry mood. So if you guys saw the title of the podcast, because we, for the first time ever in history, we know the title of the podcast while we're recording the episode. What are we calling it, David?
We're calling it Spitin Venom about Venom.
Yeah, Spitin' Venom, because we each have seen the new Venom movie, and I don't think any of us lot have been too impressed with it. So we're gonna have
You mean
to
the
talk.
movie of the year?
Get out.
Yeah,
Get out.
Movie of the year, come on.
you're just turning the show
Mute his
upside
mic.
down.
You have the
So
power.
harsh.
I do have the power. I'm tempted. So we're going to talk about Venom and how much we hated it. What else is going on in your life, Emma? You've been all over the social media lately.
Have I?
I mean, I think your hatred for Venom has taken over your life.
It really has. No, so we went and saw it last night. I woke up in the middle of the night at 4 a.m, just angry about Venom. I don't know why I woke up. I don't know what was going on. I just woke up and was angry about Venom. And I went on this like 4 a.m. Instagram rant about how terrible it is. I like broke down everything that's wrong. Well, a few things that are wrong with it. I can't go on that long. There's a lot wrong with it.
Sounds like you have PTSD.
I do. I really do. And it's just... And I swear to God, it's my bad mood today is because of Venom.
Why did you let it get to you so bad? Because usually you can keep your emotions in check. I wouldn't call you hard on your sleeve, like let everything get to you type of person. But you've really been.
It was just so bad, and like I went in knowing it was bad. I went in with low expectations, and it's so much worse. Like there were points when I would just turn to the person next to me, and I was just like, "This is terrible, right? Like we're seeing the same thing. This is awful." Yeah.
I saw it over the weekend. David, what did you think? Because you were in the same viewing, same experience.
I thought it was overall pretty terrible with some decent parts.
Can I tell you my favorite quote from you last night?
Yeah, tell me what.
We left the theater and you said it wasn't all bad. The only parts that were terrible were the parts with Venom.
That's the parts when he was Venom. Those are the parts I didn't like. But
really?
But the parts when it was Eddie, not necessarily. It was like, okay, I'll just get it. So I think that for me the best scene was the first fight scene.
Okay, keep in mind, if you're in the Twitch chat, I apologize, but we've decided that the movie is so bad and that it's been out for 2 weeks. This isn't blockbuster season. This movie. We're going full spoilers.
Full spoilers.
Absolutely.
So we're going for it.
It's a 10
That's your warning.
That is your warning.
So I think that for me and now that I'm rethinking it, I think I know why this was my favorite scene. It was when he first kind of figures out about Venom. And then the guys break in, and it's the first fight scene, right?
Okay, the one that leads into the giant.
That's one of the good ones.
The giant terrible motorcycle. Scene.
We'll get into that. And I think that was the best scene of the movie for me personally. But now that I'm thinking about it, I'm wondering if it was because it was so slow up until that point that I was finally something is happening.
It took like 45 minutes for that to happen.
That was the longest breakup I've ever seen. They did like 10 time jumps.
Oh,
was ridiculous.
The time jumps
6
were
months
weird.
later was like it showed 6 months later on screen, and I'm like, I'm out. Fuck this. What? Why? I was just there's so much wrong.
So correct me if I'm wrong. I've watched the cartoon a lot. I like Venom. I've read him in Thunderbolts and stuff like that. I think he's cool, but I don't remember there being a huge deal about being a perfect match.
No.
Is this canon, or why did they do that?
I never remember hearing anything about that.
Yeah, I didn't
I'll
know
fully
about
admit
that.
I don't know Venom, but people that I talked to that do know Venom said the same thing.
I like it better because you kind of just kill it for the future now. So now Spider-Man has to be a perfect match, which he would be if they ever do unite the two. But just that part of the character that it could be anybody and it could jump onto this person or that person is huge. And then now you have to worry about, if it jumps on this person, is it going to kill them or not? And I didn't like that part just as a plot line altogether. I hate, and some movies can do it well, but even like Iron Man, when they introduced Iron Man 1, the bad guy was Warmonger, or I can't remember his name.
No.
Jebediah.
Springfield.
Oh, no.
Whatever.
I think you're right. I think it was Warmonger.
Obadiah.
Whatever the name of his machine
the character was Warmonger.
But in the first one, there's always just like this thing where the enemy is kind of the hero, but just a little bit different. So it was like mech suit versus mech suit.
Yeah.
And I don't like that. I feel like it's a cop-out. Like, give me a real legit villain, has his own identity and powers. So when they made the first one another symbiote. That's not Carnage, then it's like, okay, this is...
So that was a disappointment, number one, because the whole time I'm thinking this is Carnage. And then is Riot an actual character? Well, I don't know.
I don't know why you're looking at me.
I know there's other ones like Toxin and like there's like legitimate badass other symbiotes that they introduced, but I've never heard of this one.
And here's when you were talking about it being a perfect match, it kind of it reminded me of something. The two other ones, the yellow one and the blue one, that they kept trying on different people, they couldn't determine if they were a good match or not. They were just like, fuck it, let's try. Mm-hmm. No, it's not. But Riot, when he was jumping from person to person, he just looked and was like, okay, I'm jumping to that person.
That's true, because he never had any issues.
He never had an issue. There was no dead bodies behind him.
Right.
Other than
That we know of.
Yeah, that we know of. And he also had a lot of people to choose from.
That too.
The ones in the lab had whatever poor soul was pushed in there.
Right,
Well,
but if they know I'm going in there and I'm going to die, if I go into that person I'm going to die, then why don't they just go back into their thing and not even try?
Well, the big question is it a time-based? Like, because they're affected over time and they're dying. So if they jump early enough, does that person still die? Probably
that's
not.
what you're saying.
Because it's not the symbiote that dies, it's the person that dies.
Yeah.
But then
the
the
host,
symbiote
the
did
host.
die, though. Because then because the symbiote, they explained it like really briefly. The symbiote has to be attached to a host in order to survive in an oxygen-rich environment.
Correct.
So if it's not an exact match, then the host rejects the symbiote. And then
But it takes
the
time for it to reject it. So it's not instant. It's not like it
but
jumps in, dies. Oh, symbiote's dead.
Well, yeah, because then the symbiote jumps out and the host dies, but the symbiote's still alive.
See, this is why this movie fucking sucks. It's because we don't understand what are the main plot points of the whole thing.
But like,
not
you
one of us
saw
understands.
Maybe it's like the
Exactly.
Matrix.
And we're not stupid. I
You
swear.
gotta plug into the system.
I
to
think
understand.
the other part that killed me too was just the like random head biting off and that being like a thing.
Am I crazy or did they not once show it?
No, they didn't. Because
They kept
made it
referencing that it
because
was...
they made it PG-13.
because
Right.
they showed you the
They can't show you the blood.
the camera angle of Venom going down. Like if you were the
Right,
person who
right.
they do this.
But
and
they
then-
kept referencing head
Yeah.
biting off. Like, they're like,
Well,
you just
he-
bit that guy's head off. I'm like, he did? Because we didn't. We sure as fuck didn't see it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Talk
And
about
there
the-
was not one drop of blood in that
Well, I
whole
think
movie.
it's because like Tom Hardy even said that all of his favorite scenes were cut out, and that's probably what it was because they wanted to go PG-13, so no blood, keep it more kid friendly.
Because I think
So it's not going Deadpool status. He bites off the head and then spray.
Right.
Like Kill Bill, slit
Yeah.
something, spray everywhere. Everybody's bloody. So I think that was part of the problem.
Because that was one of the things is people kept referring to this as like a movie that the studio interfered with a ton, and that was their main interference, right? They pushed for a PG-13 movie.
Yeah.
They filmed a rated
Yeah.
R movie, and then the studio
Correct.
was like, you need to make this PG-13 so people will see it.
Ugh,
pretty much.
meddling. I think.
I think they're trying to get the kids.
I think
why.
what really killed me with the head biting off part was the very end scene, which was the trailer. Like that
Yeah.
teaser
Oh, yeah.
where the guy's robbing the place, and then
And bites
he's
himself.
like,
Yeah.
"All right, I'll let you go." At that point, I was like, "Okay, this is cool. We do have a true anti-hero then, because he did the right thing."
But he murdered the guy.
He's teaching Venom a
Yeah.
lesson,
Right.
And then he's like, changed my mind, rips his head off, and then the lady behind the counter, like, she reacts.
She's
She's
like,
like, cool.
fuck.
She doesn't react the way you
No.
would if you saw a guy literally bite another person's face off.
And no blood on her.
Yeah, no blood anywhere.
That's because there's
Anyway.
no blood in this movie.
Because when he bites off heads, no blood. He just
Is it like
cauterizes the wound.
Is it like a lightsaber?
And that's it. No blood spraying
It's
anywhere.
like a lightsaber, exactly.
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
His
yeah.
teeth
There
are
we go.
lightsabers.
Well, and like when Riot has his blade hands and he stabs people, not a single drop of blood on the blade. They actually do the thing where Eddie gets stabbed
Oh yeah.
through the chest and he
Yeah.
starts like pooling blood out, but the blade that is still in him, no blood.
That's
and
a
it's a
stainless
ratings
steel
thing.
blood.
I think
Or
the
blade.
Stainless steel
blade.
blood. Yeah.
The
I
symbiote-
will.
Go
Go
ahead.
ahead. No, I was gonna
please.
say, in the middle of all of this bashing on this horrible, horrendous movie, I want to say one good thing about it.
Okay,
Because there
please
was a
do.
good thing about
Please
it
do.
that I got very
That it
excited
ended?
about. That as well. But they very deliberately cut out the woman saying symbiote. They cut that line from the movie.
She was so excited.
I was so happy.
I heard her like 2 seats over jump and squeal when she said symbiote.
Yeah, the first time I heard symbiote, I did think like, oh,
Was
thank
that
God.
on like a trailer or something?
in the
Yeah.
trailer.
In the trailer it said
Jenny
symbiote.
Jenny Slate, right? Is that
I don't
her
know.
name?
I don't
I didn't
know
watch the
actresses.
trailer, so I don't know. which is
She
probably better
the
than-
the scientist woman that like they do the trailer where it sets up what the movie is and she's
Yeah.
like there's this thing and it's called a symbiote and everybody lost their collective fucking minds. So I was thinking, I was like, all they need to do is go back in ADR that one word. I really hope they do it. They're not going to, and then they just cut the line from the movie entirely.
Yeah.
Because I remembered what scene it was in, and when they got to that scene, I was like, here we go. And then they cut to the next scene, and it wasn't in there. I was like, you know what?
And
Good
she
for you
said
guys.
symbiote.
Congratulations. Thank you.
I think one of the biggest issues I had though was the plot.
What
Like,
plot?
Well, that too. There was very little plot, but the idea was that the symbiotes came down and that they were trying to get back home to bring an invasion back to feed on the Earth.
Yeah.
They again, something that we had to put together as fans that they never really deliberately like posted as a plot point. I mean, it was kind of
when Venom after they escaped the police. And
there's a couple lines of dialogue, but I don't consider that like there was the movie wasn't working towards that at all.
That's true.
So they say that this is the point of it. Venom's going to go back and bring it. And then that's also what the other symbiote wants to do. So you'd think they'd want to work together.
Right.
But they don't for whatever reason, which is fine. You got to have a conflict. But then, like, just out of nowhere, after in between scenes on their way to a battle or something, Venom just says, like, oh, by the way, I changed my mind.
Yeah.
I don't want to do this. And then he's like, well, why would you do that? He's like, oh, because back on my home planet, I'm a nerd. Or something like
that.
I'm a loser.
Oh,
yeah, he's a loser.
I'm a loser from my home planet, so I want to stay here and be cool. Oh my god! You could hear my eyes rolling in the back of my head when that happened.
Venom's not a loser.
Well, yeah, he never was, but
I'll write this story better than 2 seconds. Like the whole thing, it's like, you know, when you're breaking in a horse or whatever, you know, like there's that period where Venom was clearly in control at the beginning,
right?
And Eddie Brock was just a slave to the symbiote. And then the idea was that through his bravery, through his ingenuity, he would win the respect, and it would be a true, like, you know, partnership between the two. That never happened. He just decided, like, oh, I changed my mind. I'm a loser back home. We're buddies now.
Yeah. Well, and he very specifically says, he's like, why would you do it? He's like, because of you, Eddie. And like, where's the setup for that? You guys have said 12 words to each other, and they're all like, screw off.
Well, is it because he's in his mind and he knows everything he thinks?
See, that's what I told myself.
That's what it is. But they didn't.
But you have to show the audience.
They did just say the one-liner, say, "Hey, oh, I like what you think, and so now I'm on your side." But yeah, there was no real setup for it. So
because the scene before that was like they fought in like all the police in the big smoke scene, the big smoke fight, and then they go from there. They go to the hospital, and he finds out that Venom is basically killing him. And then they separate, and then the next time they see each other, he's like, "Oh yeah, you changed my mind. When? You guys have been pissed at each other, and then separated, and then now you're
best friends."
go ahead.
All this to say, this is a terrible movie, and like people are fighting on the internet about it's good or whatever. Stop saying it's good. Say you like it. And that is perfectly acceptable. But to say that this piece of trash is a good movie is not true. You can like bad things. That's fine. People love The Room and Tommy Wiseau. He built a career on it. This movie is good in the fact that it's bad, maybe, and that you like it. But don't go around and tell people, oh, it's good. The critics don't know what they're talking about. Don't listen to nobody. It's a shit movie. It's garbage. Like, the plot points are just bad. Marcus was talking about when you watched it, you were noticing bad jump cuts. Like, it's edited poorly. It's just a bad movie.
Bad editing in the beginning. It was in the dinner scene when they're looking at each other and it's changing angles, and he goes from smiling to serious face, and I'm like, okay, this is not going to work for me. But I'd say that first half of that movie, when it's just him and no Venom, that's the worst part of the movie. I actually liked it more when Venom came in, because the humorous parts, like, pretty simple and dull, but there's some good points in there.
Well, and I mean, go ahead.
Well, it's not overall, it's not the greatest movie, but I think you guys are pretty harsh on it. Because it sounds like you guys are like, oh, it's a 1 out of 10. I mean, come on, it's a little more than that. I know it makes you upset, but
I think it's perfectly okay to like bad things, but don't tell people, don't lie and say it's a good movie. If it entertains, you can be entertained by bad things too.
True.
Like,
Surf Ninjas.
Yeah.
No, have you seen Surf Ninjas?
Yeah. That's
a terrible movie. It's actually not rated the worst on like Yahoo Movies.
Yeah.
It got a B+. I'm like, no, that's a D.
Yeah.
D movie, but it has its funny parts.
I went to the Aftershock Metal concert, recently, and they had a band called At the Drive-Ins, and I watched it, and I was entertained, but that band sucked. Like, they really sucked. But I was entertained, and that's what I'm seeing in chat. Someone was like, "Hey, I saw it, and I was entertained from start to." If you're the type of person who gets entertained by crap, go see the movie. Emma, final thoughts in your review.
All right, so one of the things that we've touched on a lot, but didn't really say, the cardinal sin of this movie for me is that it's boring. An action movie should, by default, never be boring, and this is fucking boring. Even you could have an action movie with no story to it, with plot holes, but as long as the action is good, it'll be entertaining. The action is bad. The fight scenes are bad. The motorcycle chase scene, which was very clearly supposed to be like they're big, like, yeah, here we go. It's a horrible, horrible chase scene. How do you fuck up a motorcycle chase scene through San Francisco?
The longest chase scene ever. I thought they were going to end up in Sacramento. That's how long they were driving.
Well, the unfortunate thing is, if we actually understand motorcycles, those cars wouldn't have caught up to him.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
That's the reality. That's why I don't like any scenes like that, because motorcycle would tear those cars apart.
And the like inconsistency in what damage was doing, like they had those drones and it hit an SUV and blew it to fucking shreds. It was going for Venom. He threw up a car door behind him and it like dinked off of it like it was nothing.
And the car door is fine.
And the car door is fine. And then like the scene at the end, like the big epic fight scene that's supposed to be, your pièce de résistance of the movie, was bad. The CGI was horrible. We were talking about this last night.
It was pretty short too.
It was actually way too short. That was the problem, because you have
spent all the time on the car seat.
Up. Yeah,
right.
on the car seat.
They got a whole budget on that.
They have all this lead up, and then it's like, okay, you win. What happened?
Nothing happened. And like they had, we talked about this last night. There was that part that was a very good idea where Riot and Venom are fighting each other, and then like you can see inside of them that Eddie and Drake are fighting each other. And that scene, I was like, that's a cool idea that looks like garbage. The CGI on that was so bad. That was like Matrix Reloaded.
Last issue I have with that final fight is that symbiote with the healing factor I can understand, like to a limited degree. Like he shouldn't be invincible, and there's no damn way or nothing I've ever read that says a symbiote could bring someone back from the dead. And he got fucking impaled through the middle with a big fucking blade. Like, not like a little sword, where, maybe it missed his heart. No, it went from like, he was looking like from Marcus's non-existent testicles anymore to my beard. Like, all the way. It was a big fucking blade through him. And then he stayed that way for minutes while the symbiotes did stuff. And then the symbiote slinked back. And then he came back to life. And at that point, I was like,
Did he come back to life? Did he really die?
I think
okay, let's impale a real human being and find out how long you got.
AGB does not condone doing this.
I don't know. See the test on it. I'm sure there's.
And they don't explain how Venom survived that.
Yeah,
I
think that's the biggest thing. Is that they didn't explain that, and then all of a sudden, 6 months later, or however long later,
because they make a big deal about Venom for some reason telling everybody his weaknesses, and he's like, fire will kill us.
Yeah.
Well, it wasn't just fire; it was the frequency too.
Right.
It was like the classic like villain like explains his whole plan. Oh yeah, if you want to kill me, you need to use loud noises and fire. And it's, why are you just spouting out your...
They're best friends. Come on. He's in his head. Give him a break.
He's in his head, but for some reason doesn't know who Annie is. He had to ask Eddie about that.
That's true. Boom. That's a good point.
I have so many issues with this movie.
I think the biggest thing with the movie, for me, and we could talk into this is the next segment, so I think we're about ready to wrap up on Venom. David, last thoughts before we get into the next part.
Oh, Emma took so many other good ones. I think it was just... It was boring to get started. It was like a breath of fresh air when we finally got a fight scene, and then after that, it's just full of really crappy dialogue. Venom was way too funny to me. I don't remember Venom ever being like that comedic. And then just plot hole after plot hole. It was just frustrating.
I think the worst part was that they did some after credit scenes. First one, and like we said, full spoiler, people. So
the first one was shit.
First one was like the only actor I cared about actually from the beginning. They had Woody Harrelson coming in as what's his name?
Carnage.
Kane or whatever his real name is. Yeah, but Carnage essentially.
Yeah,
and I mean that was kind of cool. That should have been the first movie, probably, just done well. Mm-hmm. But then after that, they played like, I don't know, four 5 minutes of the new Spider-Verse movie. And this is where we're going to have some debate, because I was so mad from Venom that when I saw Spider-Verse that was connected in any way, even that the same banner that's flown under, I was like, fuck this movie. And then I watched it, and then I was like, oh, this is a kid, clearly made for small children, and so I'm really not going to go see it. But Emma, you can tell me I'm wrong.
I can. So first of all, I think you are giving it a bad rap because you were so mad about Venom.
No, for sure, I was pissed.
This is like being mad at the entirety of the MCU because of Thor: The Dark World. Like, if you saw Thor: The Dark World and you were like, everything else in the MCU can suck a dick.
That's hard.
But
here's the thing: I actually kind of like Thor: Dark World, but
wow,
we'll
get into that another time.
Ant-Man. We'll call it Ant-Man because I did
whatever
say that
one you
way.
didn't like.
Okay,
that was the second Thor.
Second Thor.
That was,
That was a little point.
Yeah,
but
yeah, not the best.
So you weren't here when we talked about it, but I actually saw the first 35 minutes of the movie at Comic-Con, and it's good. It's really good.
So my concern is that it looks like it's for kids. Like, the part that they showed was like, okay, at a graveyard, whatever, it's sad, boo-hoo. I didn't really get the feels from that part. But then, Peter Parker shows up, and then he's got to get him from here to there, and he's like dragging him, and his face hits the concrete, and it's like a bunch of slapstick humor.
Yeah.
And I don't like slapstick humor. I
didn't find it interesting either. I was pretty disinterested in when I saw
They chose a bad segment, I think.
They chose an interesting segment to put in there, especially following that movie. I think what makes that particular scene work is that leading up to that graveyard scene is like a solid 10 minutes of just downer shit. Like, the 10 minutes that precede the scene that we saw are dark and depressing. Miles is going through the hardest thing he's ever gone through. It's a comedic relief that I think in the reference of the whole movie will make sense and will be welcome.
And I think you phrased it really well when you were talking about this last night. It's like the original Titans,
right?
Cartoon, or like you referenced another cartoon,
Avatar: The Last Airbender,
where it's like it's definitely meant for kids, but adults can watch it and not feel like they're watching Dora the Explorer.
I hope so.
Absolutely. And it's one of those that, like, it's for adults on another level than it is for kids, because kids will obviously enjoy it.
Right.
It's made to be accessible. I won't say it's made for kids. It's made to be accessible for children, but there's a lot of stuff in there that they won't appreciate or they won't understand because they're just like pretty pictures in Spider-Man.
Yeah. Like, I just watched Full Metal Alchemist, and I don't really consider that. I mean, it's a cartoon, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Kids, but it's not really for kids.
I think the parts that they showed, and I want to preface because in chat I hear them, they're already saying like, just because it's made for kids doesn't mean it's bad, and that's true. That I'm not saying it's going to be bad, but I'm saying
he's
as
saying
far
it's
as
bad, he's saying it's trash.
What I spend my money on happens to not usually be kids shows, so I'll see it for free later on down the road. But if I think it's made just for kids, like, I'm not interested. And from what I saw of it, it looked like it was made just for kids. So I'll revisit it when they come out with better trailers and things like that. And but another thing that's going to kill me, why I don't think I can go see it in theaters, is because I hate the animation style they used with the frame drops or whatever it is.
That's part of it too. I didn't like the animation style.
I love it.
I think the animation style is cool, but the frames, like, why can I count the frames? 1, 2, 3. Like, it's not. It's jumpy looking. I don't care for that. It's like you're watching a flip book.
True.
I think the story makes up for a lot of that, because we were talking last night. Like, when I saw it, it was not done being rendered. There were parts of it that looked like gray blobs, just lines, because it wasn't finished being animated. But the story was so good, and the story pulls you in so much that I wasn't even registering that the screen looked like shit because it wasn't finished.
The parts that were finished, were they that animation style, or was that okay? So,
yeah, no, that's the animation style of the whole movie.
Okay,
I didn't notice the frames the way you did, so I don't know about that.
Oh, you're a console gamer, so you're
fuck off.
You're accustomed to max of 60 frames per second, anyways. In
not
my world,
really.
Yeah. Well, not even.
Not.
Yeah. No, you're not
realistically, even. No.
Yeah.
There's not 60 frames a second.
You don't suck a dick.
No, I play console.
No,
I don't have a
he's a
problem with
He's a
it.
console player.
I admit it.
He's a hardcore
It's
console player.
okay to have less frames. There's not like my life doesn't magically change. Like, oh my gosh, I got 60 more frames, and
Mine
now
does. Mine actually does.
Yes,
You
yeah, I don't
think
care.
it does? It doesn't even help you play though.
Damn!
Talking
Sensu
about-
beans
You
and
don't even
jazz.
know. You don't even know me, bro.
I know you.
Sensu
even know.
beans.
You got double the frames and half the skill.
Oh! I got nothing.
So I got a story here. Marcus being on the show is perfect because Marcus is a good friend of mine for a long time now.
So he thinks.
Well, it doesn't matter what
Until
you
10
think.
minutes ago.
Yeah,
That's true.
but
I'll give you that one.
he's like a deal hunter. He is crazy when it comes to like Black Fridays and any kind of like special promotions. Not only does he know how to best capitalize on it, he knows how to like, dance on that system of the line. You know how I consider myself a
Social engineer? Yeah.
He's like a retail engineer.
Okay.
No, that doesn't make sense.
Yeah, you're a retail engineer. Actually, you're a real engineer.
He's a
too,
real
which is
engineer.
fascinating.
Yeah.
Real engineer.
He's a
yeah.
licensed
He's a
engineer.
legitimate real life engineer.
Yeah.
But he's also a retail engineer and
Life
That
engineer.
just doesn't sound good.
Life-
Retail engineer. You know how to buy clothes. You know how to buy underwear.
you buy stuff so well. Like how many
You're the best at buying
I-
things.
how
man.
many
just want-
consoles have you bought in the last year?
Year? Well,
Maybe
it
2
depends
years.
how you consider bought or actually
See-
keep.
Or a
So-
year.
Type
Or
is a
you.
construct, Corey.
There's a lot of definitions.
You
And
buy
then
a lot of consoles.
not too many.
More than the average person.
Probably more than the average person.
We've been
I'm gonna
to your place.
admittedly say that yes, more than the average person. Probably 2.
In the last year, but okay, let's go a little bit further. Like in the last 3 years.
Last 3 years, probably 6.
37.
There we go. That's the sweet
So-
number. He's buying them, he plays them, he returns them, he gets another one, he upgrades, he downgrades, he goes sideways. He gets a pink one, he gets a blue one. Like,
I usually trade them in when they get really good value, and then I buy when they're on sale.
He
So the
sells
net-
high and buys low.
I was about to say you're like an
Exactly.
insider. You're like a stock trader.
Yeah,
day
for
trader.
video games.
Thank you, that's the word I was
Pretty
looking
much.
for.
That's what it is.
I went
Like,
for insider trading.
there's one game I bought. I never opened. It was the crappiest Call of Duty, the Ghost. Bought it for $5.
Worst.
I was like, I never opened it. It was for PS4, and so I go in and check one day. I was like, holy crap! It's trading in for $20 at GameStop. Sure, take it, please. Like, I mean, generally they give you crap for your for your games,
Yeah.
but that was one of them where I netted because of my the Pro Gamers Club or whatever they have. Ended up getting like $23 with like their bonuses and stuff, and I'm like, well, went from 5 to 23. Great, like.
I think it's because you're patient and you play the long game. Because you recently gave me the advice that GameStop is running a promotion, which is good until this Sunday. So if you're listening to
31st?
this, is it the 31st?
Or is it
The
28th?
31st is Wednesday.
28th.
The 28th is next Sunday.
Oh, okay. I thought it was the 21st, which was Sunday.
No. It should be the 28th or 31st. It's
Okay.
one of those two.
Well,
It's not that soon.
Not like any of us has a computer.
Ha.
irregardless, they're doing a promotion to where if you trade in your old school Xbox, you'll get $200 towards the Xbox One X.
Which is a great value.
Yeah.
The like OG Xbox?
OG Xbox. They'll give you
The
$200.
day
Get rid of that
one,
thing?
the day one edition.
Wait, what?
$200.
You're not?
Like the OG Xbox from 2000?
Yeah.
The black fat one.
I'm never getting rid of that thing.
Why?
Power
Because
brick.
it's mine. And it's nostalgic.
think-
I used to be
And I still
nostalgic.
play it.
Well, no,
Well, I
I used
mean,
to
but
be
you
nostalgic until I was figured out, hey, you can get better stuff when you trade in your old crap for good value. Like, there comes a
But
time.
my old crap has good value to me.
This is electronics, though. It's an Xbox console. It's not a teddy bear that you were given at birth. This is like just
I
electronic.
mean, it may as well be. And a teddy bear is just stuffing and fabric.
I didn't take you as someone who's so sentimental.
Oh, 100% I am.
Really?
I'm actually in the market for an RCA to HDMI so I can actually hook up my original Xbox
No.
and stream from it.
No.
Hell yeah.
Why not just use the backwards compatibility? I know they don't have all the games.
Because they don't have all the games.
They're
They don't
going to
have a
get
lot of
there,
games.
and then you're going to be like, well, I got my RCA cables. My TV doesn't even have RCA jacks. what am I gonna do?
That's why I do RCA to
It's a
HDMI.
component.
Oh my gosh.
Oh,
That's what I'm
my
saying.
gosh.
that's where your money goes, is in the connectors.
It's like $15.
I had the day one edition too. So this was like if you wanted to get
See?
attached
Keep
to
that
it.
shit.
Or
give it to me.
It's gone already.
It's
Oh,
gone.
I hate you.
I traded it.
Oh, you're a bad person.
This is what we did.
You're
though.
a bad person.
I mean, I feel pretty good about myself. I have an Xbox One X now.
And he has Fallout crap game.
Here's a pro tip. If you're gonna do this, if you're gonna trade in your old console, even if it's an S, and go up to the X, if you,
You
can,
get $250 for your S.
if you
Yeah,
can
that's what I'm looking at right now.
detach yourself from worldly possessions, like
Never.
Emma, and
I'm materialistic.
You're a hoarder.
Yep.
I brought the Xbox in to GameStop. They tested it and everything, and I was like, okay, I want to get the Xbox edition with Fallout. And he was like, oh, I can't apply your discount to that. Because in order to get the boost, you can only upgrade to the generic Xbox One X. No extra games.
Okay.
No, you get State of Decay.
Yeah, whatever. You get no extra games.
Okay, that game is not the greatest, but you still get a game.
It's
Technically.
entertaining.
Is it
You
the
could
Venom
like
of
bad
games?
things, Corey.
You get it,
You
Corey.
could like bad things.
Get it, Corey.
It's not the Venom of games. Superman 64 is the Venom of games. But I tried to push him a little bit. I was like, so there's no way we get around this, bro. I mean, I used to work at GameStop, homie. Did you know I'm social media for SF Shock? You know what that is? You know, I tried all the tricks. I did
It's
everything.
like you can come behind the counter, and you're like, oh, I'm not doing that.
You get a GameStop sticker.
We tried everything. He said no. I text Marcus as he's doing the trade-in. Like, dude, they're not taking... What the hell, dude? What's going on? You lied to me. You lied to me, bro.
First, I was like, you didn't bring an HDMI cable. I was like, what's wrong with you? Come on.
I did forget the HDMI cable. But that's besides the point.
Go on.
So Marcus has this genius idea. We happen to have a GameStop like less than a mile away from the GameStop I'm at. So he's like, trade in yours, get standard edition, whatever one, doesn't matter, but get a gift receipt. And then go immediately over to the other GameStop, return yours, and then you get it on store credit, and then buy the one that has Fallout. And I was like, is that really going to work?
Yeah, because I read that people do that, and so that's why I knew it could work. So
it ended
Fair
up
enough.
working like a charm. And I got into like the acting part too. So when I was at the first one, I asked for the gift receipt. I was like, oh, this isn't for me. This is a gift for, for my nephew.
After he
So
was
I need-
fighting for the other one.
I'm going and like making these elaborate stories. Yeah.
You're like
I don't,
method
I don't
acting?
think you need to go that route. Just say
Yeah.
gift receipt.
My
You're
nephew,
method acting, and
Jim.
the guy behind the counter could not give a shit about what you're doing with the
That's the
Xbox.
thing, is they don't care. Just say gift receipt.
Yeah.
Okay. Like, whatever.
And I did the same. I took it straight to the other one. I was like, yeah, my mom got me this one. And like, because
He's like, sir, you're 30 years old.
Cut the crap. I know
Cut
what
the
you're
crap.
doing. Just
Do you still live in your mom's basement, even though they don't have basements?
I mean, I'm
here?
buying an Xbox One X, so it's safe to assume I might live with my mom.
it's possible.
in her garage, I assume.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we don't have basements.
There's
in
no
California.
basements in Sacramento.
So you traded in your OG Xbox. Can you trade in an Xbox One for this?
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, that's what it is.
No,
The
that's what I traded
It
in.
is not okay. So
So,
OG Xbox One.
OG
is-
Xbox
Oh my
One.
god! I even clarified the year. I said
Oh.
from 2000.
I didn't hear
I
that.
mean, it could have been out in
Oh
2000.
my god!
I have selective
Oh
hearing,
my
so I didn't
God.
hear it.
I didn't hear it
Corey
too.
didn't hear it. David.
See, that I would trade in
Didn't
a
hear it.
heartbeat.
Okay.
That I would trade in a
Oh, your
heartbeat.
Xbox
Okay,
One?
yeah.
Oh, an
This
Xbox One X.
whole
I
thing
might
was-
actually do that.
Yeah,
Then do
you
that.
should. And when you
mine is
do,
getting
use this little
old.
trick of the trade.
That's if she wants
my
a white
God.
one and Fallout 76.
Can somebody in chat please back me up that I said 2000, please?
I think you did. I just
Nobody pays
Sure.
attention to me. Nobody
What?
listens to me here.
Well, I said I have selective hearing. Well, actually, I can blame it on my left ear because I actually don't really.
Yeah,
have
are you making
hearing
fun of
out it
Marcus's
right now.
like
Yeah.
Yes.
She is.
disability?
Yeah.
Wow.
I can't hear on my left ear, and you're giving me crap.
Which one?
That's
The ears or
jacked
the
up.
testicles?
Oh.
So harsh. That hit low. That hit
Yeah,
low.
it did.
Luckily, when so what I found stupid about this whole thing though is that the one without any games is $500, and then the one that comes with the game is $500. So why wouldn't they just let you do that? So I felt justified in cheating the system, and I feel like anybody listening to this should do the same.
Well, it's just a different color, and it just came out.
And it
After-
comes with Fallout 76.
Yeah,
It's
but
hot.
I'd probably throw that game away personally. I'm not a Fallout fan.
You'd throw it away. You wouldn't like trade it in? Or...
No, I'd probably sell it.
Sell
It's a code, so I mean,
I would
could
say,
do
hey,
something.
Corey, you
Sell it
want
to somebody.
Fallout 76? He'd be like, heck yeah.
I need to be careful though, teaching people on this show how to cheat the system because on YouTube, a guy is getting sued now by the developer of Fortnite for doing pretty much the same thing.
Yeah, he is.
Oh
But
snap!
it's because he monetized and he's making money on it.
So, Emma, do you have the details for this one, or who has the...
Let's see. My phone's at 1%. I have details, but my
She
phone
got-
is at 1%.
she has all the
Pray for
details.
me.
If you need me to stall, I have plenty of theme songs.
Oh, we don't need that. That's not necessary.
Are you
Well,
sure?
he's just
But okay, so he basically this kid. I mean, he's not a kid; he's a grown ass adult. But I specifically didn't put his channel name in the notes because I'm not promoting this dude. But he runs a channel on YouTube specializing in mods, like mods for Fortnite, teaching people how to use these mods, promoting these mods that he sells. Cheats essentially, not just mods; they're cheats. So like aimbot.
Yeah.
He'll like sell
Yeah.
aimbot hacks to people.
And teach you how to install
Teach you how to
it,
do it.
yeah.
He will
And
specifically
bypass the
go after.
system.
Yeah, he'll specifically go after what they call default skin players. So players that look like they don't, they just got the game. They have
Normies.
the default skin.
so they don't know.
So he'll go and troll people that just got the game.
Okay.
And so
So-
Epic is suing him.
So he could weed out the good players from the bad.
Or at least the new ones.
Okay.
Yeah, he's like, if you're using the default skin, you don't have any extras, you don't have any accessories, you probably just got this game.
I've had the game for
Fair
years
enough.
and I just don't put money into it. So
Fair enough.
I never put any money into it.
Fair enough. And then, so he then is talking about, what did he say? He said, quote, I almost feel like I'm being discriminated against by Epic Games.
Ooh.
I'm just a kid that's making, he's 22. I'm just a kid that's making YouTube videos, and a lot of people were enjoying this, and it blows my mind how I can upload a video that will entertain people and then allegedly be sued by Epic Games.
Well, he's selling the mods.
Yeah.
So it's not just uploading videos. I'm pretty sure they wouldn't have gone after him.
Yeah.
But the fact that he's selling it, now there's value.
He's making a living, probably.
And he has
Probably.
2 million subscribers
Probably.
on YouTube, so it's not like he's, giving this to his 5 friends around the street.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think his response there is the sign of just of the
Entitlement.
times. The entitlement of just
Entitlement.
I'm the victim. I'm being discriminated against, not looking outwards to what they're... I watched a stupid video. I don't know why. I fell down the YouTube rabbit hole, and if it's got a catchy title, I'll click on it. And this one was pro-choice guy kicks pro-life person. I was like,
All right.
I was like, yeah, let's watch it. And not because before that gets twisted, not because I side with either one adamantly, but more just I was like, what the fuck? Like,
He just
what?
likes watching people kick each other.
I do. I really do.
Well, haven't you seen Idiocracy? Out my balls.
You just want to really hammer those.
Out my balls.
don't talk
Actually,
about
I thought it was
hammering.
that doctor
I
hammer
should've
that
watched
balls.
Damn.
But anyways, he's dumb. He was a hairstylist dude, pro choice, and he was out like with a marker, like ruining people's clothes who were protesting. And so there's a camera on him, and then he gets into a standoff with a lady, and they're throwing out the generic arguments that everyone does. And then he like saddles up for like a karate kick. He doesn't look like a karate guy or anything, and then he just throws a kick. And like the camera flies, and you hear like everyone around go, "Oh my god!"
Oh,
like,
I've seen that.
and you hear him, but all you hear him say is, "I meant to kick your phone. I meant to kick your phone."
Did he say hi-ya when he kicked?
Pretty much. You might as well have. He's like, and what blew me away about the whole thing was like, okay, regardless of what you were trying to kick, you were in an argument with a person you fundamentally disagree with. That's fine, but then to like kick them. You should go into apology mode, and you realize that you're a fucking idiot, and you need to like deal with the consequences of what you just did. But to then turn it into like you're the victim because I meant he didn't say sorry one goddamn time.
No. Typically, people like him probably say it's not even his fault. Like you just walked into my foot, like your foot's up in the air swinging around, and it's your fault that you walked into my foot. Like just say I'm sorry, I kicked you. Like it happens.
Well, I mean,
I've only seen the GIF of it memed,
I haven't even
and it's
seen
the
it.
funniest fucking thing I've ever seen. So I have no idea the background, but I just been laughing my ass off at somebody kicking the camera.
Yeah, I think that's what caught me in the title. Special Cases says it was like roundhouse kick, and I was like, "What? A roundhouse kick? I want to see a good street roundhouse
I'd probably
kick."
watch it if I
Roadhouse.
saw a roundhouse kick.
Yeah, like roundhouse kick, you automatically click if that's
Oh,
in the
yeah.
title. but
That was click.
but it was his reaction. And then when I hear this guy, you're clearly a scumbag. Not to say you're beyond redemption, but you're in the wrong here. Don't turn yourself into the fucking victim, man. Just do something right.
Own it.
Take onus for your responsibilities.
That's not what that word means.
Did I not?
No, I thought that is.
I thought that
I
was.
mean,
Whatever.
it's a weird way to use it.
I'm getting better.
Whatever.
I'm getting
It's
better.
Corey's own English. Who cares?
I don't
Court's
know.
own English.
I'm
It's
happy.
not quite the Queen's English.
I'm happy that this dude's getting his. I hope it works. I hope others follow suit, because cheating in games is just bullshit, dude. Games are for fun, and to cheat, to go outside intentionally and help other people do it too, it's just toxic behavior. It ruins the whole point of what the games are for.
It does.
So
And he tried to make some excuse, or some defense. Like, he was like, well, I don't condone cheating in competitive play. No, I don't cheat in competitive. And I tell people not to do that. And I'm like, shut the fuck up.
Probably a bunch of crap because he's making money. He doesn't care.
Yeah.
No, reality is, like, I don't mind cheats as long as it's on your own, like, separated private game, like, with you and your friends.
Like your couch
like
co-op
a private
shit.
server,
Yeah.
do whatever you want.
You remember putting in all cheat codes for the games, like single-player games? Like, it's fun sometimes.
Like Game Genie.
But
in multiplayer,
Yeah.
that ruins it
Yeah.
fun for everybody. And how do you find it fun? Like, oh my gosh, I want a 64 kill streak, and I'm the best in the game. It's like, you didn't do anything.
yeah,
It's auto aim, the entire aimbot for the entire game. So
you're at that point just getting off on the fact that you're ruining other people's experience.
yeah, and
That's
that's
it.
pretty trash. So
What else we got in the news?
Speaking of people being mad,
Yeah.
Rockstar
Oh,
got in some hot water.
are we just talking
Who
about
did?
angry
Just
stuff?
talking about angry shit. Rockstar got in some hot water.
Just
this
rant.
week.
No, they didn't. Yeah,
Yeah,
you're being
they
dramatic.
did.
You're clickbaiting us.
Hot water. Oh,
Well,
I know what
no.
You
she's.
said the same
To
thing
be
an
fair-
hour ago.
Well-
We were talking about this. You were like,
To
oh,
be
yeah.
fair-
Oh, I think she's going to talk about the 100 hours.
Yeah, they did get in hot water, and then they came out and they clarified, no. It's not everybody that's working 100 hours. It's me and the rest of senior staff.
So to start this off,
Okay.
to take it back, Dan Houser, who is the co-founder of Rockstar Games, did an interview with New York. You
Was
okay?
that rewinding?
That was a rewind.
Rewinding the tape. Okay.
I thought it was a side effect from
I thought he was just mad.
his broken balls.
It could be. We don't know. It hasn't been proven yet.
What was I saying? Oh, Dan
Sorry.
Houser. His name's Dan Houser. He's the co-founder of Rockstar, and he did an interview with New York Magazine, and he gave a quote in... Oh, what did I didn't write it down. He gave a quote in the interview where he's talking about the development of the game, and he basically said there have been multiple 100-hour work weeks put into this game. And it was... Polygon did an article, and I like the way they phrased it. It was like, at best, it was flippant, and at worst, it was bragging. Of like, oh, we put 100 hours, we're working our developers 100 hours a week, and people lost it. It went crazy.
It's good because Telltale recently just had their huge
Right.
thing, and you see the negative effects. Like, these people were probably putting in 100-hour work weeks and then off,
And they
to
just
get
got dropped.
fired.
And they weren't getting paid
Dropped
overtime.
so fast.
And they didn't get severance.
Yeah.
So this kind of blew up, and then a lot, game developers picked it up, and then gamers picked it up, and it's this... Because it's not just Rockstar, it's an epidemic within
It's the industry. Yeah.
Crunch culture is a very real thing in game development that people are sort of the mainstream is just sort of, or at least consumers are sort of just catching on to as being a thing of where you get to a point in a game where game comes out in 2 months and you're not done, so your developers working 100 hours a week, they're not getting paid overtime, they're not getting to see their families, they're not going home, they're sleeping at their desk.
Well, I think that's actually a lot of industries, not just gaming.
I think
Right.
Silicon
Because-
Valley,
Because I know for getting plan sets out, I go in the crunch time, but the fortunate thing is, it's I chose this non-salary job, so I get paid for my overtime. That was, perspective-wise, but I know there's people in my industry that go salary, and they put in the same amount of time. Obviously, they work for a different employer, but then they don't get paid for that, and they have to put in the extra time, and it sucks. So it's kind of it's out there in a lot of jobs, retail. I mean, you think of Black Friday, right?
Yeah.
I mean, they get paid, but that's some hard work for people going into retail
minimum wage
making
folk.
$12 an
Yeah.
hour.
and dealing
yeah.
with some crummy people, man. The crummiest people, just people.
The Marcuses of the world who are out there just trying to scam everybody for...
No, I buy everything online on Black Friday now.
Cyber Monday.
No, it's not even Cyber Monday. It's Black Friday, but you buy everything on Tuesday.
Yeah.
That's the first Well, it started on Wednesday. Actually, started on Thursday. Then they changed it to Wednesday, and so I started buying on Wednesday. Like, but now it's getting worse and worse, and so like I don't care as much anymore because it's more impacted.
It was pretty bleak there. All the major, outlets were ready to just jump down Rockstar's throats, but then they did some damage control.
They did. Yeah. They clarified.
And so what exactly was their story?
Go ahead.
I was just to say, so he came back out and he clarified, like, no, none of the developers worked 100-hour weeks. When I say that we put in 100-hour weeks, I mean me and a few other of the senior level staff members.
They were like story writers,
Story
right?
writers, yeah. We put in 100, and it was all volunteer.
I would say probably there's other people they're not crediting that probably worked 100 hours that they probably don't recognize.
Yeah, so
that's the sad part.
See, at that point, you have to kind of look at how much you trust Rockstar.
But to say that volunteered, everybody that's working overtime, that's salary, not getting paid. Yes, of course, it's all volunteer.
Right.
Yeah.
And you get into the part of, like, this being part of the culture is, like, wearing that overtime, wearing that crunch time like a badge of honor and being expected because you see other people doing it and you're expected. If your boss is doing it, you should be doing it.
You're like, oh, no, I'm going to get fired, so I got to stay here another 40 hours. And it's a crummy culture.
That's why the labor laws protect us because, we get these jobs and we live by them. Like, that's how we make our living, and we don't all have that confidence to just risk that. So if someone suggests, hey buddy, we really need you to work, but you don't have to, but it would really, the whole fate of our company and game depends on this, but don't feel
like you have to.
It's the Lundberg thing. If you could come in on Saturday, that'd be great.
Oh, and Sunday, by the way, I'll leave the door open for you.
Yeah, so like there is that unspoken pressure to be like, so I genuinely want to believe this. There's not people coming out of the woodwork saying, and I feel like if there was,
they're still working on it.
Well, I mean, there's got to be some disgruntled employee or something who would have said something, or a former employee who would have, said like, "Oh, it's like this all the time at Rockstar. I was here for GTA 5 and blah blah blah."
Well, no, I actually saw something on someone that worked on like GTA 5, and they wrote about it, and it's like, I used to work for them, and crunch time sucks, and we don't get paid for overtime.
Really?
And put in a ton of hours. Like there's other people out there in that industry that are getting shafted. Like, it's unfortunate, but happens a lot. And I read something they wrote, like they're looking at, they need to unionize.
Yep.
Like, that's the direction that's probably gonna help them because they're not getting respected, and that's unfortunate. So because they do all the hard labor.
Yeah, and I have a feeling there's probably a mentality of like, oh, there's so many coders and programmers out there these days. Like you're replaceable, man. Yeah,
that's the unfortunate.
Yeah, how many people would love to work for Rockstar? We're GTA, motherfucker. Like
that's probably what they think.
If you listen to developers, that's exactly what they all think. They're told that. They're like, if you don't want to work on this, there's 1,000 other people that we can hire right now that do.
Yeah.
And this is exactly what unions were created for.
Esports is very similar. I feel like I'm lucky to not work for one of the scummy ones, but you get drunk at the parties and you hear the other employees, from different segments of it, and esports is that thing where there's always a kid who will do it for free. A lot of the stuff, and so that's kind of always looming over your head that there's some 16-year-old hotshot who will come for your job if you're not on your toes, or they die to work for these game developers and teams. It's just a hot industry right now. I really want to stay away from these types of stories with Rockstar because I don't want to change my opinion, and I don't. Because I want to enjoy this game.
That's why I'm not buying the game. I support the people.
No, me too.
What do you? Is there any more hype stuff going on with Red Dead that you guys have heard? I think, or is it all out there?
It's pretty much all out there. We got the install size. It's a 90 gig install roughly. It's like 89.2 on PlayStation and 88.56 on Xbox.
That sounds about normal.
Yeah, that's light.
90's that's becoming the standard.
You think that's a lot?
I think it's
90's honestly becoming the standard because you got to think of the 4K. Like,
wasn't Halo over 100?
Well, yeah, because it's 5 games
that were created like 20 years ago.
And because it was so big,
yeah, that's true.
And because it was so big, they let you choose what you want to install and what you don't, so you don't have to install 100 gigs on your Xbox.
Okay,
that's true.
From what I noticed, it's pretty much everything's around 100 gigs. And then you think of expansions, it's just going to get bigger. So
I just downloaded the Call of Duty, the new one on the PC, and it was over 100 gigs. I think David Webb put it in our group chat. I paid about $1 a gig.
$1 a gig, yeah.
Yeah.
$100 for the game.
It's a bad deal you got there.
It's pretty fair, a gig.
Oh, and you still have Gamers Club unlocked. And you're still doing that.
I think for Red Dead though, it's totally understandable that the game would be even over 100 gigs with all the stuff they're saying, like the size of that map, the decision making. It's 4K compatible.
Those horse testicles.
Those horse. Oh, don't say testicles.
Yeah, that's a sore word.
It's a
Right
sore subject over here. It all comes back around. I want to thank everyone who's in the Twitch chat for watching this show. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I saw a lot of new faces, a lot of new subs. We had some new follows on there too. So if you guys are in here and you have not yet and you enjoyed yourselves, hit that follow button. And if you feel inclined to give us a subscription, you can do it for free using your Twitch Prime account or your Amazon Prime. Just link that bad boy up. And if you're listening here and you like what you heard and you want to go back into the archives, take us to work with you, you can download our podcast, which is available on iTunes, Stitcher, Baby Maker, French Fry, Lobster.
You're reusing some of these.
Am I?
Yep. You say Baby Maker like once every other week.
It was my nickname
That
in high
word
school.
sore too.
I have a feeling that's not true.
Is that a low blow towards me, Corey?
But you are the Baby Maker, man. You got two now.
No, he's banned from Baby Maker.
Yeah, I'm banned.
What else we got here? Oh, and if you guys listen to the podcast each week in and week out, and you want to interact with us in person, you can do that on twitch.tv/videogame_bang on Wednesday nights and Saturday nights. That's when we record these. You can get into the chat, just like Special Cases, Rurutude, The Dude, Lost Sheep. Who else we got? Osmond, Canine Fang, Pocket Asian, all these guys. Winchester, Steven. I'm just giving all shouts out. We can just keep going for days. But thank you to these people and many, many more who make the show entertaining, drop their little 2 cents in. And then sometimes we plagiarize what they say and pass it off as our own thoughts. That's my favorite thing to do. Emmaskies, what's your stream schedule looking like this week?
Tomorrow I've got Dead by Daylight at 7 p.m.
Spoopy! You're doing spoopy streams.
Spoopy indeed. And then I'm off for the rest of the week.
Okay.
I've got big Halloween costume things going on.
Oh, cosplayers love Halloween, I hear.
I do.
I hear that's their favorite thing to be told. David, what about you? What's your schedule?
I'll be streaming on Friday.
All right, what are you playing?
Yeah, that is an excellent question. I might do more Minecraft.
When are you?
Why? More
When am I playing?
Minecraft.
Why Minecraft?
Just go play Forza 4.
If I download Forza 4, I might play that.
Dude.
So Minecraft or Forza. So either really, really, really good graphics or blocks.
All right.
Either A.
All
A
right.
fun game.
Tough choices.
Or cars.
Cars.
When did they put cars in Minecraft?
Yeah. Hey,
Marcus, what are you promoting, man? You got a book coming out?
Maybe.
Safe
Did I-
sex? Promoting safe sex.
Yes, I am. You can find it on Amazon. Just click the link above.
No, thanks for coming out, man. You did super well. There's regulars we have on the show. I'm not going to name which ones that you are killing right now.
Cord.
Yeah, it was me. It was
Oh,
me.
thank you.
Yeah, that's
Thank you. That's why I love you.
Yeah, I love you guys too. Do we have anything else to promote? TwitchCon? We're gonna be at TwitchCon.
We'll be at TwitchCon.
Yeah, we'll be all over TwitchCon. So if you guys want to meet up, I know we're gonna hang out with Pocket Asian for a minute. We have to contractually since he single-handedly
He owns us.
funds the show. I think he's a majority owner. So we're gonna hang out with him.
You setting up like a VGB meetup at TwitchCon?
If there's demand.
Yeah, just
There
like a
might
little,
be.
like, we'll be at this fountain at this time.
A fountain.
I
why
don't know.
a fountain?
Because maybe it's just something small.
All the things that popped in Emma's guy's head, we're gonna go have a. You
No,
know what?
is there
There's actually
must
not
be
a fountain
is it
at
like
the
a
San Jose
water-
Convention
Is it
Center.
a water fountain or is it just like a drinking fountain? We're gonna be at the Northwest
We're-
drinking
they-
fountain.
Whoa.
We're gonna be at the drinking fountain
On the west corner, South Hall.
We're gonna pour some gamer subs in there as we're drinking. Yeah,
There
exactly.
we go.
So hit us up on TwitchCon. Also, we have social media. You can interact with us all the time. We check it. We have a Discord channel. You can get in there and use all of our emotes and stuff, and you can hang out with Pratt Gamer and Special Cases and all those dudes who are in there every day. And Twitter @VideoGameBang. Let us know what you like about the show. Let us know what you didn't like. We love when people disagree with us on Twitter. So if you have disagreements, hit us up there first, and then we'll copy and paste the URL to our private chat and laugh at you, which tends to be what we do.
Yep.
But that's it for Marcus, David, Emma. My name is Corey, saying you've just been banged.